Let's have a look at this cryptosystem from the Cold War era. The KAL-55 Bravo, also known as KAK, officially known as Circe, inspired by the goddess of the Greek mythology. As we read in JPROC's website about it, this is a tactical authentication system used during the Vietnam War era. Doug Neal used the KAL-55B as a forward observer with the 196th Light Infantry Brigade in Vietnam. He recalls it was called a KAK wheel and was used to call artillery registration coordinates when not in a contact fire mission. There was a page that told us what cipher to use each day. Every day was different. So apparently this wasn't for operational or strategic communication security, but for tactical communications that only had to remain secret for a few hours. This allowed its designers, the NSA, to come up with a very user-friendly system. As we read in this DoD article by Brian C. O'Reilly from January of 2025, numerical map coordinates were seen as particularly critical since intercepting the coordinates could allow enemy forces to evade US and Allied attacks while being able to accurately ambush and shell US troops. In response to a 1969 request by the US military, NSA's S-14, the Tactical Applications Division, developed a new field numerical cipher wheel called the Circe system, consisting of the KAL-55B wheel and the KTC-800 code matrix to replace a hodgepodge of homemade and older manual ciphers for field use. The system was deployed in the thousands to the field in Vietnam, starting in 1970 to protect numbers and especially map coordinates. Before diving deeper into its history, here's how it works. As you can see, it says day 18 here. That's because there were separate ones issued for each day, so that even if one of them was compromised, it wouldn't compromise the entire system. And it worked like that. The circular grill is what NSA called the KAL-55. And this code table here is what NSA called the KTC-800. As you can see, it had 5 alphabets in random orders. Say you were a radio operator in Vietnam and wanted to encrypt your message with this. You'd first pick any of those, say Delta here, and then select a random letter from it, say X-ray here. Then you'll transmit this over radio in clear. NSA called this the alignment indicator. Specifically, you'd say, I set Delta X-ray. The recipient would have an identical system, of course, and set it accordingly. After this alignment, you pick the next letter after the one communicated, meaning Yankee in this case. And if you had picked the last one, like November in this example, then you'd use the first from the same alphabet, so Golf. Alright, since our alignment was Delta X-ray, we select Yankee and set the KAL-55 accordingly. Like this. Now you can use the outer disk to encrypt the coordinates. Say you want to encrypt 1123. You could pick any of those three for the number 1, and NSA recommended to use different ones if you had repeated numbers. So 11 could be Yankee X-ray. And 2, let's say Bravo. And lastly 3, Uniform. So then we send over radio, Yankee, X-ray, Bravo, Uniform. And for each message, NSA stage, you should be using a different alignment, basically repeating that process altogether. Clearly the decryption was the reverse process. You can imagine that something so simple wasn't very well received by NSA's crypto experts, and going back to the aforementioned article, we read, years later, In 1981, NSA ComSec expert Donzel Betch would comment, "Our people who approved Cryptosystems did not really like our using a system that we knew was not as strong as we could build and make it. But it was a compromise. It was a trade-off. What was the value of having a system if it was so complicated to use that it wasn't going to be used? It's better to have something that is medium good and have it used than have a perfect system that's not used." And in that same article, we also read this memo from NSA's S14, the creators of this, from October 8, 1970, giving even more insights behind this decision. The system has been assigned the mythological designator Circe. As discussed in the reference, the decision to agree to expanded use of Circe was influenced by our estimate that the Viet Cong could not successfully recover results in time to permit tactical exploitation. Coupled with the above, and also of prime consideration, was our feeling that despite its relatively weak cryptographic nature, implementation of Circe was preferable to the continued use of homemade systems by US tactical forces. And only a year after its release for operational use, in 1971, NSA was already worried of its low security levels. Circe is not safe for the currently approved volume of 500 messages per day. Using the same assumptions and derivations, it is estimated that Circe will fail by the time 100 messages of any known kind have been transmitted in the key. And a year later, in August of 1972, the inevitable happened. As we read, while operating the Ho Bo Woods of Binh Duong Province, the ARVN 5th Division, that's the Army of the Republic of Vietnam, captured a number of Viet Cong documents, including a complete 22-page Viet Cong cryptanalysis report of the American and ARVN radio communications. This Viet Cong cryptanalysis report was centered on a complete analysis of the Circe system, with copies of the Day 2 cipher tables, Circe weaknesses, and step-by-step instructions on how to exploit the system, reconstruct the daily keys, and decrypt the coordinates. The translated captured document was sent by the US Military Assistance Command Vietnam, MACV, on December 11, 1972, and relayed to NSA. And by 1973, NSA started working on its replacement, the KAL-55B, codenamed Dryad. Again inspired from Greek mythology. We might look at Dryad in a future episode. But that was the secret history of the KAL-55B from its start to its end. And that perfectly highlights a challenge that exists to this day for security professionals. What's the right balance of security that is frictionless enough so that people will use it, but still provide an appropriate level of protection? And this little system here is a perfect representation of this. And despite not many people knowing about it, it acts as a reminder that in the spy world, nothing is as it seems.